from the shadows of the National Palace
to the muddy trenches of politics. This is La Posilga, the pig pen of politics, damn pig.
Greetings, my dear inhabitants of mud. Welcome once again to La Posilga, the pig pen of politics, where we don't sweep the trash, we just stir it up so it smells even stronger. Put on your gas mask and hold on to your wallets, because today the stench coming from Sinaloa and New York is enough to make even the toughest vulture faint. Come and enjoy your favorite corner of filth and truth with no anesthesia. Here you don't come to listen to odes to transformation, nor to Gregorian chants from the opposition. Here you come to wade in the mud of reality, because if there's one thing we have plenty of in this country, it's dirt swept under the rug. Let's break it down. Just like our brand new president already had the little gift left by her predecessor blow up in her face. I'm your not-so-humble host, Louis Berman, and today I'm extra sharp-tongued because the stench coming from Sinaloa Palace isn't from a clogged drain anymore. It's something much more institutional. Am I the collector of political garbage that you all love so much? And I'm bringing you the week's thickest toxic brew. Have you eaten anything yet? Well, get ready to throw it up because what's coming isn't suitable for sensitive stomachs or for minds that still believe in the second floor of the transformation. Let's get started. Let's begin with the day the Mañanera morning briefing ran out of steam. Yesterday, while you were watching the most expensive variety show in the world, Chachas received some news that wiped the cardboard smile off her face. The United States formally requested the arrest and extradition of Governor Ruben Rocha Moya. And what did our resident scientist do? Magic. She shortened the conference strangely as if she had suddenly become efficient. She cut off the flow of lies to prevent any clueless journalist from asking why the scent of Kulia Khan was reaching the Treasury Hall. But you can't hide something that obvious, much less with a decree from the Fourth Transformation. I'm told that the subsequent meeting with the Security Cabinet was quite a spectacle. Forget the usual irascibility, forget the shouting. The inept president was stunned, knocked out, silent. Did she realize that Uncle Sam isn't fooling around? She asked about alternatives, called Rocha, who, by the way, answered with such a hesitant voice that it seemed like he was seeing a ghost or a DEA agent, and panic took over the place. And here comes the good part, the juicy part, what confirms to us that this government operates like a neighborhood union. When someone with an ounce of common sense suggested complying with Donald Trump's request, the representative from Palenque jumped in. Yes, the one who's pulling the strings tighter than ever. Remember, if one falls, they all fall, the voice roared. Translation for those who don't speak, mafia politician. If they hand over Rocha, the rest of the structure will collapse. So, by order of the Grand Elector, they decided to defend the plaza. They instructed the Attorney General's office, the Office of Collection and Pardon of the Regime, and the Foreign Ministry to say there is no evidence. Agares, give me a damn break. It seems like the Transformation Party ran out of ice and now the police are knocking at the door. And not just any cops, but the folks from OFAC, the Office of Foreign Assets Control, the ones who don't accept alternative facts or settle for a hug. It turns out that, according to my sources, the ones who actually know where the yellow envelopes are hidden in the Palace of Solitude, the concern is no longer about who will inherit the presidential baton, but about who will end up wearing the orange jumpsuit. The National Banking and Securities Commission, which is usually more asleep than a legislator, tipped off the government during a late-night session. The United States is even asking for the supermarket receipts of Morena's top brass. So now the fear isn't just political, it's in their wallets. Several of the honorable members on the list have already had their accounts frozen by the banks, which aren't exactly in the charity business. Charity, and you already saw what happened to C.I. Banco. They slammed the door in his face. They don't want to be accomplices to the biggest money laundering operation in Mexico. Here I present to you the welfare list according to OFAC. Take note because not even the most exclusive criminal archive has a lineup like this. Grandpa Monster Adon Augusto Lopez, the man with plenty to answer for over La Barradora, the welfare blob, Andy Andres Manuel Lopez Beltran, the junior, who just happens to always be where shady deals are going on. And, of course, Ruben Rocha Moya, today's protagonist of our Sinaloan tragicomedy. Also, Americo Villarreal, Alfonso Durazo, Pedro Haces, Horacio Duarte, and, of course, the Monreal brothers couldn't be left out. The family that commits crimes, that sticks together, stays together. Sheinbaum knows that time is up. She knows that the USMCA negotiation is hanging by a thin thread, just like her fake smile. Trump and his guys are clear that the only way to stop the problems affecting the United States from Mexico is by taking Morena out of the game, according to the American prosecutors. Rocha Moya, Senator Insunza, and 8 other officials from Sinaloa had such a close relationship with the Sinaloa cartel that it was no longer clear if the meetings were cabinet meetings or planning, logistics, or non-traditional export meetings. What a surprise. It's like telling us that water is wet or that a politician likes other people's money. But the interesting part here isn't the accusation, it's the reaction. Because in this country, when reality bites us in the ass, we respond with sovereignty and lots of rhetorical hugs, our dear Presachachis, in a display of loyalty anyone would envy. Every attack dog came out to say that this is a lack of evidence and a violation of sovereignty. Of course, because in the 4th Transformation Manual, if a gringo says you're bad, you automatically become a martyr of the homeland, almost at the level of the Niños Heroes, but with armored trucks and foreign bank accounts. Claudia Sheinbaum says that what a gringa judge and the New York prosecutor's office say against the distinguished and honorable governor of Sinaloa, Ruben Rocha Moya, has no validity. According to her, they're just pieces of paper, bureaucratic trash, scraps of paper. But, wow, what the lady forgets to mention with that silky voice that sounds like it's about to break. I don't know if it's from emotion or from the weight of the lie. The thing is, the witnesses who are bringing down her protege, Rocha Moya, are the very same Chapitos. Here's the moment when they dismiss the evidence she's been pushing and pushing to get presented.
This is the evidence they include in this document of alleged bribes or supposed bribes. No, there. There. It's attention-grabbing, don't you think? This is the only document that, in this filing, they present as evidence. Juanito, 30,000 pesos. All right? I mean, at least it's attention-grabbing. A sheet of paper? R1. Tornado, but look at the paper, just a sheet of paper. So we've always said it, we're not going to protect anyone, and we've also proven it. I have acted accordingly, doing what is my responsibility, what is the responsibility of the prosecutors, and what is also the responsibility of the judges, but we do not protect anyone. There must be evidence. There must be documents based on our legislation that prove a person's guilt. If that evidence isn't there, the question is, what is the motivation?
Do you see electoral motives in this accusation, President?
Well, let's wait for everything in its own time. This had never happened before. Never in history has a prosecutor's office or the U.S. Department of Justice requested an extradition order for a sitting governor or a sitting mayor or a sitting senator. So, what do they have to do? That's the law. Again, we have to abide by the law, by the Constitution, by the treaties themselves, but always under Mexican law. So first, the prosecutor's office has to request the evidence. What evidence do they have? Because up until today, there is a written statement from what some witnesses say, but we don't know who they are.
How is it that testimonies no longer count? When it was about Genaro Garcia Luna, hearsay was taken as the word of God. They licked their chops at the morning press conferences, celebrating every statement from confessed criminals in Brooklyn. Back then, if a drug lord said he saw Garcia Luna flying on a unicorn loaded with cocaine, it was absolute, irrefutable truth, worthy of a monument in the Zocalo. But now that the same protagonists are pointing towards Sinaloa, towards the office of the Morena Governor Pum, suddenly the U.S. justice system became unreliable. Damn fucking hypocrites. This isn't new, my little pigs. It's a remake of a movie we've already seen, and it cost us a lot. Do you remember General Cienfuegos? The one who was being tried in the United States for drug trafficking, and who suddenly, thanks to a little diplomatic favor, came back, and they brought him back to Mexico with the promise that justice would be served here. And what happened? That the old shaky legs gave in faster than a taco de canasta. On Friday, they set him free, cleaned up his image, and even gave him a medal for distinguished services to opacity. And even an American judge came out to say what we all knew, that Mexico lied and there wasn't a shred of justice. I listened to Claudia's message at today's Mañanera at least twice, not because I like masochism, but to confirm what my ears were hearing. The lady's voice was breaking, she was running out of breath. And look, I understand her. It must be incredibly heavy to carry the pen that just signed her own historical destiny. Listen and watch closely how hard it is for her to pronounce each word. She knows she's lost.
However, there is no clear evidence. It's clear that the purpose of these charges by the Department of Justice is political. It must be absolutely clear. Under no circumstances will we allow the interference or intervention of a foreign government.
Sheinbaum had a golden opportunity, the perfect moment to make a statement and send a message of zero tolerance against drug trafficking. He could have said that the United States government should proceed in coordination with us, but he chose not to. Closing ranks, political protection, and the staunch defense of this narco regime, which reeks of impunity and gunpowder, is extremely serious. The first woman president in the history of this troubled country will go down in history. The president who used all the power of the state to cover up for 10 drug traffickers and their political operators, she chose her legacy. It won't be science, it won't be progress, it won't be equality. Her legacy will be complicit silence and a trembling voice defending the indefensible. History won't judge her for her hairstyle or her charts. It will judge her for choosing to be the shield of criminals rather than the hope of the citizens. The wolf is no longer at the door. It has already entered the kitchen and it's hungry. And while they protect their mobsters, the country is falling apart. All just to protect a few who confuse public service with cartel service. For his part, that bastard Rocha says he's calm, and why wouldn't he be? With the backing of the presidency, you can sleep like a baby, even if outside the prosecutors are sharpening the guillotine. According to him, it's all an attack on the fourth transformation, an elegant way of saying if I go down, we all go down. What's going to happen? I guarantee it. Right now. The Attorney General's office will open an investigation file that will serve exclusively to store the coffee grounds from the office. Rocha will give a press conference saying that he has other information and that in Sinaloa there's nothing but peace and the scent of gardenias. We will continue paying their salaries while he decides whether they go on vacation to a country without an extradition treaty. However, one thing is what they decide and do here, and another very different thing. That Donald Trump and his guys decide to continue the hunt for narco politicians, finding them under every rock if necessary. In other words, not even Rocha Moya will get out of this, even if he goes to the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe on his knees. The only thing the narco government from Morena is doing is buying time. It's curious how the word sovereignty has become the official repellent against justice. If a Mexican politician is investigated abroad, it's considered imperialist aggression. But if here they don't even get so much as a token audit, then that's considered divine justice. There's a saying that what you inherit isn't stolen, but in Claudia's case, what she inherited was a grenade. With the safety off and with the clock at 0, the maid of welfare had a bomb go off on her. A bomb. The kind that really make noise, the kind that leave craters, and the kind that remind us you can't keep up a lie forever. We're watching the premiere of the movie Saving Private Rocha, but produced with your tax money and directed by the stubbornness of not wanting to clean house. Meanwhile, the governor is still there, standing firm like a statue of salt, waiting for a miracle, or hoping that the sovereignty rhetoric and the claim that there's no evidence will save him. But let me tell you in advance, that won't be the end for this bastard. The Americans don't mess around, just ask Maduro. For now, it seems that the other little angel, accused of the same crimes, that son of a bitch in Sunza, has already skipped town. No one knows where he is. Is that something we'll surely see more maroon-vested rats doing in the coming days? Well, my fine capitalist pigs, there you have your dose of reality chewed up and spat out. Don't forget to wash your hands, because after talking about Sinaloan politics, you feel like mold is growing on your fingers. Reality can't be covered up with a finger or with a morning press conference or with a billion bots. On X, reality blew up in Presiyachis's face, and she's still pretending. She's cleaning off the soot while telling us that Rocha is innocent and that she'll defend sovereignty. The pigsty is flooding and the mud is already up to their necks. Don't be surprised if in the next few days we see the occupant of Palanque sticking his head out again to try to cover up the hole. But remember, when destiny catches up with you, there are no other facts that can save you. I am the most hated pig, Luis Berman, and this was the pigsty, the pigpen of politics. Keep wallowing in the mud, because after all, we're all stained here. See you when the next official falls from grace, which will probably be tomorrow. If you enjoyed this dive into filth, you know what to do. Like, share so more people can wake up from this pipe dream, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't like it, well, that's too bad. This isn't a restaurant where you can order off the menu. I'll read your comments. Goodbye, goodbye.
Goodbye. This is the pigsty, the pigpen of politics with Chamarano.